right, welcome back into the channel. Welcome back for another video with myself and JaVon. We are now, as you guys are seeing this, 8 days away from the NFL season. Wow.
Finally.
It was a long summer, but we are finally almost there. Today we are doing, of course, our NFL awards predictions video. Then next week we're going to be doing just our official playoff predictions. We'll be going through our brackets, etc. We got a lot of awards to talk about, so let's hop right into it. All right, so we're going to start with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm going to provide some of the odds as we go through this. I'm going off of FanDuel, so if you use something else, it might look a little different. But the Offensive Rookie of the Year, the top 6 odds are Ashton Jeanty at plus 250, Cam Ward at plus 300, Omarion Hampton at plus 900, Travis Hunter at 10-1, Tedero McMillan at 12-1, and TreVeyon Henderson of the New England Patriots at 14-1. My pick for this is actually pretty basic. I'm going to go with Cam Ward. He's the only quarterback that I think has a real shot at winning it. I think his mobile threat is going to get him there. And at the end of the day, generally awards do favor the quarterback when they are an option. I don't see Jeanty or Hampton having some 2,000 scrimmage yard season where it's no doubt to them. And we saw this 2 years ago when it was close between CJ Stroud and Puka Nacua, and Puka was setting records. Yeah. They still went to the quarterback. So if the quarterback has somewhat of a good season, they're just going to kind of roll there. And with Cam Ward's rushing upside and his deep ball, I expect him to have a good enough year to win this award. And I expect the Titans to look like a better team, especially towards the end of the year.
I mean, I understand that. I think Cam Ward is going to really struggle, to be honest. I don't think that he's going to win it. And like you said, it is kind of rare that they give it to a receiver because Puka had like the greatest rookie season from a wide receiver ever, or one of. I'm pretty sure it was the greatest, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was the most receptions ever.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he should have won it. And I remember us making the video about it a year or two ago. It's kind of insane. But honestly, man, Cam Ward, if he had maybe another weapon, I don't think Calvin really is going to get it done. And he's already going under the radar as is, Yeah. Nobody's talking. People are talking more about.
The weapons definitely hurt him.
Yeah.
But you forget Tyler Lockett's there, veteran, Shigun Konkwu, Tony Pollard. Like, I think there's enough pieces there. Obviously, there's a lot of fun skill position players that I guess you're going to go with one of them that I do think has a shot. I'm being basic, man. I'm picking the QB with rushing upside.
I mean, he is the number 1 pick, so it's really not, like you said, it is. I
swear, my takes get spicier. I know some people don't. I know some viewers don't like it if I give you my honest answer and it's too chalky.
Real talk. You may be one of the only people picking Cam Ward. I haven't really heard anyone picking Cam Ward. For the most part, I've heard Omarion Hampton and I've heard Ashton Jeanty. But it seems like Cam Ward is
the favorite to win the award.
Yeah, Cam Ward is just always going under the radar somehow. I don't know how, even when he was at Miami. But for my Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go with TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Henderson because you know how I feel about the Patriots. But not only that, I think this team is going to lean on him, a lot. And he kind of reminds me of Jahmyr Gibbs, but is a much better blocker. Like, I see shades of Jahmyr Gibbs there, if I'm being honest.
Bill Simmons made that comp on his podcast.
He's really?
A Patriots fan, and he said, I think TreVeyon Henderson is at least Jahmyr Gibbs, was his direct quote.
Wow, I didn't even know that. But yeah, he does remind me of Jahmyr Gibbs, but of course, everyone knows he's one of the best blocking running backs coming out of this year's draft. And I think they're going to lean on him. I think at least by week 7, week 8, he'll be getting at least 70% of the snaps in the backfield. And that's not even including his returning upside, his kickoff return, punt return upside. They're going to use him there during the season as well. So, I mean, I definitely think the Patriots are going to have a good season. And in order to do that, TreVeyon Henderson is going to have a good season as well. So I'm going to lean on him. I know it's kind of crazy because Jeanty is going to probably have more volume and Hampton is probably going to have more volume as well. But I think TreVeyon Henderson, his stats are going to be better. And honestly, I think he'll have more yards per carry. And his receiving upside is there. Yeah,
He's
his
so
receiving upside
explosive.
is there too. So
I think of all the rookies, he's going to have the best highlight tape at the end of the year. And if it's close, man, maybe that's what pushes him over the top. Like you mentioned, you have the Patriots, I believe, winning 12 games and winning the division. So, if that comes to fruition, I love your pick because somebody had to lead the way
yeah,
for that offense, and I think Travion Henderson certainly could be the guy to step up and do that. Onto the defensive rookie of the year side of the ball now, we have Abdul Carter at plus 185. Then we jump all the way to Jalen Walker at plus 950,
wow,
Michael Williams at plus 1100, Mike Green plus 1100, Travis Hunter plus 1300, Jahad Campbell plus 1500. So
wow,
Abdul Carter, obviously the massive favorite. I'm actually not going to pick Abdul Carter here,
wow,
and I don't know if you are. My case against him just is I think he's on a loaded defensive line with Lawrence, Burns, Thibodeau, and I think it's possible that his stats kind of suffer a little bit because of that. I'm actually going to go with the 49ers, Michael Williams at plus 1100 to win this award. I
wow.
think he's going to benefit from being opposite Nick Bosa and get a lot of one-on-one matchups. Robert Saleh retook over this defense, and he started with the defensive line. So I think it's possible there's a lot of blitzes called, a lot of really emphasis on the edge rushers getting home, and the offenses are going to scheme for Nick Bosa, and Michael is going to be able to eat. And I love the odds personally at 11 to 1.
That's I was not expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised Jahad Campbell was as high as he was. I mean, it's not a shocker, but I just wasn't expecting it, especially with all the other rookies. I mean, was Travis Hunter even in the top five?
Yeah, I said, did I skip over Travis? He was
Oh,
13 to 1.
okay, 13-1. I mean, he's not gonna be full time on that end of the ball, but you can definitely expect him to make his mark on that side as well. I'm not gonna go
Yeah.
with him. I'm gonna go with the boring pick and Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the same reasons that you said that you are not going to pick him, those are going to reasons. Those are going to be the reasons why I pick him to win it. I mean, Dexter Lawrence already. Thibodeau. I don't even is Thibodeau even starting? I don't even know. So, but they got a lot of people to get after the quarterback, and he's going to have a lot of one on ones, man.
I
And
do think he's the most talented edge rusher,
oh,
to be
hey,
clear. Like, I
I,
think he's the best of the players, which is why he's at plus 185.
yeah,
I just, I wanted to be a little outside the box, and I think Michael's got a good shot at it. But yeah, Abdul Carter is the best defensive player from the draft. I think that everybody kind of agreed on that.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that Michael Williams is going to be like they're going to ask more of him than they're going to ask Abdul Carter to do because
Well,
they're going to really
that's
rely
why.
on him.
Well, that's why I picked Michael.
Yeah, I
I
can
think there's going
understand
to be
that.
more responsibility there, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the Abdul Carter pick. We got a new award here. It was started last year, I believe, the NFL Protector of the Year. It's kind of your Offensive Lineman of the Year award. Our options are Penei Sewell at plus 460, Lane Johnson at plus 650, Trent Williams at plus 900, Jordan Mailata at plus 900, Joe Alt at plus 1500, Creed Humphrey at plus 2,000. So, I don't
Wow.
exactly know who or what kind of goes into this. Um,
I
it's
mean,
a new award for the year, so I don't know what stats they're going to go off of, but I am going to make my pick for this Lane Johnson at plus 650.
of
I'm
course.
going well. Okay, well he's second in the odds, but
I mean, yeah,
here
you guys have two
here
linemen. That's crazy.
so here's my thing. It's a new award, so my thought process is the first person that gets the award, you probably want to be a Hall of Fame caliber player.
That's
And I'm not
fair.
saying that Penei Sewell isn't going to get there, but Lane Johnson could retire today and be a Hall of Famer. So for me, when it comes to giving Philly love, I don't see Saquon repeating as Offensive Player of the Year. I doubt they would ever give Nick Sirianni a Coach of the Year.
Oh
Jalen
hell
Hurts
no.
as MVP. While I have a bet out on it, it's not my actual prediction. So if they're going to give Philly some love as having a good team again, I would imagine the credit will go to the offensive line. Then if you pick between Mailata and Lane Johnson, I'll give it to Lane Johnson here, a name that they probably want to get on the record book for this award.
I mean, yeah, that would definitely add to his resume, like first ever protector of the year. That would definitely add to the resume. And the thing is, like you said, the parameters for this award, man, like, are
It's
they
brand
just
new.
are they just gonna maybe they look at, okay, who was the best lineman like that impacted their team, like a guy like Joe Tooney who just got traded to the Bears. Like, you may look at a guy like that, their O line was mediocre. It wasn't amazing last year. And maybe
Yeah.
he comes in and now the Bears have a really good record and maybe he's like a direct a direct effect of that. Maybe they'll look at that and be like, okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
give him the
Tooney
award.
himself is plus 3,000 to win the award.
Yeah,
So
see, I mean,
he's up there.
I don't know how they would look at it. And it's not rare that linemen get traded or switch teams, to be honest. So
Yeah.
that would be
I
a
mean,
shocker.
it's brand new, and like I mentioned, Creed Humphrey at plus 2,000, Joe Tooney at plus 3,000. The tackles seem to be
Yeah.
having better odds. So, is it going to be a tackle award? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
My thought is the easy option for people when they're first going into it is to give it to a Hall of Fame caliber player. So that's where I
Yeah.
went with Lane Johnson.
I mean, shit, honestly, I'm starting to feel like my picks are boring, man, because I'd even look at the odds and I'm like Panay Sewell. Honestly, he
Yeah,
just doesn't. That is like that whole side is locked down. Jared Goff does not have to worry about anything over there. Like, he doesn't allow sacks. Panay Sewell, man, is honestly is not even fair. He's athletic. He has everything you would want out of a lineman. So I mean,
yeah.
he's the best lineman in the league, in my opinion. That, I don't know if that's a hot take. He's better. To me, he's more valuable than Trent Williams, than Lane Johnson right now,
I don't
only
think it's a
because of
hot
his
take.
youth. But yeah, Panay Sewell, man, I just feel like that was the obvious answer. When I think of protector of the year, I'm like, shit.
Yeah, I
And it
mean,
was
and
obvious
that's
to me.
fair.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I think that we don't know. We don't
yeah,
know what the parameters are. Speaking of an award that kind of has weird parameters, the AP NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Aiden Hutchinson is the favorite at plus 270. You have Dak Prescott 3-1, Christian McCaffrey 3-1, Trevor Lawrence 5-1, JJ McCarthy 9-1, Max Crosby 20-1. So the NFL recently changed how they are giving out this award, and they basically said that you have to be returning from an injury, because in previous years they've basically given out this award to people who returned from being ass, like they were just had a bad season, came back and were
yeah,
good, and like then they got the award. I actually made a decent amount of money betting on Sam Darnold to win the award last year and then cashing out before Burrow won it, because I knew that they changed the parameters and Sam Darnold wasn't hurt the year before. So I was like, I'm just going to cash out. But
free
all of
money.
these guys, Aiden Hutchinson, Dak, McCaffrey, Lawrence, JJ, Max Crosby, all of the top six are coming back from injuries. So when I look at this, again, I'm going chalk. I'm going the boring choice, but I'm going Aiden Hutchinson, a guy who I think will be in Defensive Player of the Year conversations. Last year, the pace he was on before he got hurt, he seriously looked like the best edge rusher in football before he got
Yeah,
hurt. Now,
MVP
who's to say?
or
Now,
player of the
who's to
year.
say? No, who's to say if he was going to keep that pace? I don't know. But in terms of comeback player of the year, coming back from that injury and absolutely wrecking havoc, because I don't imagine that Dak's going to come back and put up MVP numbers. I don't think McCaffrey's going to get back to what he was in 2023, because I just don't think the 49ers are going to give him that volume. But I expect Aiden Hutchinson to just come back and be Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. And honestly, like, you saw, like, everyone's been seeing the videos of his progress. Like, he was
Yeah.
damn near running a couple of months after his surgery, like maybe 2 months after his surgery, doing full blown sprints. I'm like, holy crap, how is he recovering so fast? It's possible. I just don't think he would get it because, like, of that defensive line, man. Like, they're going to really be able to focus. I mean, I get it. There was basically the same amount of talent last year before his injury, but I just think they're just going to focus on him more. Like, last year, he really broke out, and now everybody's going to be like, we really,
I
this is
just
all we
think
got to
he's
focus on.
unstoppable. I think
Yeah.
he's unstoppable, to be
Oh,
honest.
hey, honestly, I understand the pick, and if he can have like a 15 sack season and just be unstoppable like you think, it's definitely. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't get it. But the person I'm gonna go with, is Dak Prescott.
I knew it. I
I'm
knew
gonna,
it.
I'm gonna. Now, I'm not saying the Cowboys are gonna win 10 games. I'm not saying
Well,
they're
you did
gonna.
say that in the predictions, to be
Oh
fair.
yeah, I did. But that's not my reasoning
Yeah.
why I'm
Well,
picking
we'll
Dak
see if
Prescott.
Micah gets traded. Maybe your
Yeah,
records will
well, that
change.
kind of changes everything. Like the fact that he requested a trade is kind of changing the way I think of the Cowboys
Yeah. To
now.
be
I'm not gonna
just to
lie.
clarify to everybody, we are recording this at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on August 21st. So this is 6 days before this video is going to come out. So if Mike is traded in the next 6 days, which is very possible,
Yeah.
and you're hearing this and you're like, idiots, Micah was traded.
hey,
Yeah.
hey, honestly, Micah getting traded will help my case anyway. But I just want you
Oh,
guys. I just want to let you guys know that I did pick the Cowboys to have a good season this year, but in my head, Micah's already traded now, so I don't even know what to think of them. But I'm picking Dak Prescott because if he can't stay healthy, man, I think they're gonna have a top 5 passing attack in the NFL without a doubt. Like he's not gonna be as good as Joe Burrow was last season, but I definitely think the Cowboys will have to rely on him like Joe Burrow was relied on last season. And Joe Burrow had a half decent running back in Chase Brown. The Cowboys don't really have a run game at all. And I think people will be able to see that early on. Like they
yep.
don't have what they got, Javonte Williams. I think he's the RB1 right now, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, we'll see. But he has George Pickens. He has CD Lamb. And I feel like with them two, they'll prove to be a top 2, top 3 wide receiver duo in football this year statistically. And I think Dak Prescott definitely will be able to win comeback player of the year. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Moving on to coach of the year. I actually don't have odds for this. FanDuel doesn't have odds for this up, so
Really?
we'll just say who we think's going to win, and there's no odds to go off of. I'm going to pick D'Amico Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans, to win this award. I
Okay.
thought that this was his award to win 2 years ago when that year, CJ Stroud's rookie year, Will Anderson Jr.'s rookie year, where they made the playoffs and won the division. I thought D'Amico really came in and changed the culture of that team and helped turn it around. They ended up giving the award to Kevin Stefanski, and then Houston had not even a pullback year in terms of their actual record, but it felt like that they were a little bit worse team and not as exciting. I think this year in year 3, the Texans bounce back. D'Amico leads the top 5 defense, and the team wins a lot of games as a top 3 seed in the AFC, and they give D'Amico Ryans his flowers that I thought he should have gotten 2 years ago.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from. They did make the playoffs last year, so that's like the only rebuttal I would have.
Well, the
Usually,
coach of the the coach of the year is usually a guy that makes a leap with a team. I just don't see many teams making a drastic leap this year. If you recall my predictions, there wasn't many
yeah,
teams that I had taking a massive leap. Maybe Ben Johnson of the Bears I could
yeah.
have gone with, but I landed on D'Amico.
I mean, yeah. You do have high expectations for the Texans, especially on that defense. So I mean,
Yep.
he's a defensive minded coach. If he can elevate that defense, maybe CJ Stroud has flashes or can revert back to what he did his rookie season is definitely possible in that division. So I mean, who knows, man? But the person I went with for coach of the year, I went with Mike Vrabel. I
Yeah.
mean, you
Yeah.
probably
I
could have
mean,
guessed
you
that.
couldn't have gone with anybody else picking the
Yeah.
Patriots to win 12 games. So,
I mean, honestly, man,
although
nobody.
Dan Quinn didn't win Coach of the Year last year in
Yeah,
Washington, jumped
that's
from
it.
the second pick to 12 games.
That was incredible. That was,
So,
and honestly, now you just made me doubt my pick. But I do think Mike Vrabel, especially since he's in the division with the MVP from last year, I have the Patriots winning the division. So, I mean, I definitely think he'll be able to elevate this team. I said it so many times. I do feel like the Patriots improved the most this offseason out of any other team in the NFL. That defense is going to be legit. He's going to elevate that defense. I know they don't have all pros everywhere, on paper, but I do feel like they could definitely be a top 7 defense in the NFL. And I have high expectations for Drake May, Travion Henderson. Stephon Diggs is a veteran wide receiver who, if he can stay healthy, Drake May can actually lean on him. Kyle Williams out of the draft. They got some really
yeah.
good pieces. Ramondre Stevenson, I don't really know what his role's going to be, especially since I have Travion Henderson winning Offensive Rookie of the
I
Year.
mean, if he doesn't have a role, it just means Travion's been an absolute dog.
I mean, exactly, especially since he's the RB1. Ramondre is the RB1 currently right now. So, I mean, I definitely feel like there's a Thunder and Lightning duo. They got a little duo thing going on back there. But yeah, I definitely think Mike Vrabel is going to win a Coach of the Year. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy for that one. But I mean, Ben Johnson.
I don't think so. I think people might think you're crazy for the hot takes video where you said the Patriots would win the division, but I don't think many people will think you're crazy specifically for saying Mike Vrabel Coach of the Year, because I think a lot of people do have the Patriots as a fringe playoff team, and even if the team wins 10 games and gets back to the playoffs, I think you could make a case for Vrabel as Coach of the Year.
I mean, yeah, Will Campbell looks to be legit. I mean, they got better in every aspect, man. It's just hard to view this team not being good and him being a direct contributor to that. But I mean, time will tell, man. Ben Johnson is definitely a name to look at. He's definitely. You said there's not odds out, but he might be number one.
There's probably odds somewhere else. NFL Coach of the Year odds.
Yeah. So I don't know if there were odds. He's definitely top 5.
It looks like there might be odds on DraftKings. Okay, here we go. On DraftKings, Mike Vrabel 6-1, Ben Johnson 7-1, Liam Cohen 12-1, Jonathan Gannon 14-1, Canales and Aaron Glenn and Sean Payton and Pete Carroll are all 16-1. So, where's D'Amico, man? I might have
That's crazy.
D'Amico Ryans at plus 6,500. Your boy might need to hop on DraftKings.
You're an addict, man.
Whoa.
He's a fiend.
Yeah, 65-1.
Nah, stand on business, man. I feel it. But
65-1. He had one of the 4 lowest odds. That's insane.
I mean, it is insane. They made the playoffs last year, though. How many teams? I mean, they got some teams on there that were pretty good last year. I think Aaron Glenn honestly might be. They
had Sean Payton at 16-1, and they made the playoffs last year.
That's wild. Maybe Harbaugh in LA, maybe
if they make a jump over Kansas City, I can definitely see that.
That's not gonna. Well, we talked about that already.
Yeah. I mean, we don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but if it happened,
yeah.
So the big 3 awards, probably what a lot of people have been waiting for. Potentially, people skip to this point in the video. Defensive Player of the Year. Micah Parsons leads the way at 6-1 in odds.
Incredible.
Aiden Hutchinson at 7-1. TJ Watt and Myles Garrett are both plus 850. Nick Bosa is plus 1100, and Jared Verse is plus 1500. My pick, not in the top 6 odds. My pick for Defensive Player of the Year at 16-1 is Will Anderson Jr. of the Houston Texans. Obviously I just talked about D'Amico and what I think that Texans defense is going to be. I believe the Texans defense is going to be a top 5 unit in football. And I believe that this year we see Will Anderson Jr. take that jump and enter the elite defensive end tier in the NFL. I think he has everything you want, from size, strength, speed, ability to get off the edge, ability to defend the run, and pairing him with Danielle Hunter means that teams will not have the opportunity to double team this man, and the coverage in that secondary with Jalen Petrie, Stingley, Bullock, Lassiter, CJ Gardner-Johnson is going to be good enough that I think Will Anderson might add 2 to 4 coverage sacks on his stats as well. I think it's very possible that we see Will Anderson Jr. flirt with 20 sacks this season. I'm not going to predict that, but he gets somewhere in that 17 range, forces a couple fumbles. The Houston Texans, they had a perennial Defensive Player of the Year with J.J. Watt for a long time. And I'm not saying that Will Anderson Jr. is going to be J.J. Watt, but I think that they got a guy who is going to be in DPOY candidacy for the next half decade in Will Anderson Jr.
Hey, man, you are high on that Houston Texans defense, and he's going to have to be the leader of it. It starts with him, to be honest. I know they got Stingley. I know they got some good pieces all around, but honestly, it's going to have to start and end with him.
If he could take that jump to top 5, they have a top 5 edge rusher and a top 5 corner.
And
Man,
that D line is serious too. That whole D
yeah, I
line.
mean, what, Daniil Hunter, Sheldon
Yeah.
Rankins now back on the team. You got some really good linebackers there too. Like, it's not going to be just Will, but I think Will is going to clean a lot of it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, I understand it. Where do you say he was at? You said he
He
wasn't.
was at he was 16-1.
Okay. Damn.
I already have that bet in. So
Dang, that's actually crazy. And honestly, I kind of wish middle linebackers were looked at a little bit more in
yeah,
this conversation. Like,
it's so
especially,
tough.
yeah, it is, man. They're just gonna go to pass rushers unless you just have a crazy
Yeah,
season like Pat
unless
Surtain just did. But
and
like,
there wasn't really a crazy good pass rusher. For some reason, they seem to hate Trey Hendrickson for this award. So
well, he don't even know what's going on over there. Same with Micah. You said Micah was number one, right?
yeah, Micah was 6-1.
That by itself is insane. So they're just
I
saying,
mean, we don't even know what team Micah's going to play for.
I mean, yeah. And honestly, I'm kind of shocked. I know Aiden Hutchinson is coming off of an injury. I'm kind of shocked he isn't a little bit, a little
Well,
bit
he's
high.
7-1. He's
Oh,
7-1. He was second.
oh, I didn't hear you say that. Okay, cool. Okay, damn.
Yep.
That's kind of crazy. I'm gonna go with Nick Bosa.
Yep.
So
Nick Bosa at 11-1.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Nick Bosa. The 49ers. I'm gonna just be real. They're gonna have to lean on their defense, man. Like you said, they got Michael Williams. I expect him to make an immediate impact.
Yeah, we just got two different edge rushers winning an award in San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's going to have to go crazy this season. The 49ers, they have the easiest schedule in the NFL. So that's going to be something that Bosa can use to his advantage. And they're going to ask a lot from him and Fred Warner on that defense. And with all the injuries going on the offensive side of the ball, man, it's going to have to be the defense that they lean on. And I think Bosa will be able to make that impact. So I know it's not, nobody's really paying attention, especially because he hasn't been that healthy in the last couple of years. He hasn't been a reliable player, but I think they're definitely going to have to lean on him this year. So I think he's going to go crazy. I'm not going to lie.
I think, like you mentioned, we both have San Francisco winning a decent amount of football games this year, and they have the easiest schedule, meaning realistically in the third, fourth quarters of games, they should be up, and that means that those edge rushers should be able to pin their ears back and go and get some sacks. And I think Nick Bosa is a pretty good shout to win this award.
100%.
The Offensive Player of the Year. Saquon Barkley is the favorite to repeat and win the award again at 6-1. Jamar Chase is at 8-1. Justin Jefferson 12-1. Jahmyr Gibbs 13-1. Derrick Henry 14-1. And Bijan Robinson and Nico Collins are both tied at 16-1 for sixth place. Some other notable people: Puka Nacua 17-1, CeeDee Lamb 20-1, McCaffrey 20-1, and Amon-Ra St. Brown is 25-1. And then we start getting to plus 3,000. So I'm going to quit reading it off there. I'm going to be pretty chalk here. I'm taking Jamar Chase at 8-1. I think Jamar Chase could have won the award last year. And, dude, I know it's just preseason. I'm not trying to read a ton into it, but that Cincinnati defense is so ass that Joe Burrow is going to have to throw the ball all game, every game again. T. Higgins already rolling an ankle at practice. It is going to be the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase show again this season. Yeah. Joe Burrow is going to have to throw for 4,000 plus yards and 40 touchdowns, and we saw it last year, man. Jamar Chase ends up being the biggest benefactor of that. He might mess around and win back-to-back Triple Crowns, and if he does that, they have to give him the award this year. I think even if it's close, they might just give it to him this year because they feel like his season last year was so damn impressive and that he didn't get anything for it. So, obviously I've made it pretty well known that I think Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in football as well. So from a pure talent perspective, this guy can take any catch to the crib. Yeah. This guy can beat you deep. This guy can beat you short. This guy's got great hands. He is just the best receiver in football, in my opinion. And if you don't think so, you got him at least 2.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
So, and again, in an offense that's going to need to score roughly 30 points a week and be throwing the ball in the second half of games like we expect Cincinnati to be, this to me is a slam dunk pick.
Yeah, man. I mean, I watched quite a few Cincinnati Bengals games last year, and it does not matter if you double team him. I don't know how he gets open. I don't know how he gets open, man. And part of it is the chemistry he has with Joe Burrow, but he's just unguardable, bruh. Like
Yep.
he's the best wide receiver in football, 100%. Justin Jefferson has been a little bit banged up the
Hmm.
last season and a half or two. He's just been a little bit banged up. I don't think he would win it. I think,
Well, and he's a little banged up. He's got
yeah,
essentially a rookie quarterback and JJ McCarthy throwing him the ball. And I think the Vikings are going to be winning more games in the fourth quarter than the Bengals are.
I mean that's true. Not to mention, I mean, teams can really lock in on Justin Jefferson. Rondell Moore out for the season. He was going to be a wide receiver 3 for that team. Jordan Addison going to miss a
Suspended
couple.
the first three
Yeah,
games.
he's going to miss a couple of games too if they get off to a bad start.
And I think with signing Jordan or trading for Jordan Mason and having Aaron Jones and improving the offensive line, they might want to be a more run heavy team this year.
I mean, I feel like they're going to have to. They're not just going to throw JJ McCarthy out there to the wall. I mean, maybe they have high expectations for
I
him.
don't think there's any way that they throw the ball as much as they did last year with Darnold. He was letting it rip.
Yeah, man, that is crazy. My pick, you know, I kind of wanted to go with CD Lamb here, but just because of his volume alone, I'm not saying like he'd be
He's at
better.
20 to 1,
Yeah,
so
just because
good
of his
odds.
volume alone. But I'm gonna go with Bijan Robinson. I'm gonna go with Bijan.
16 to 1 odds, but yeah, the three tool back for
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I mean, Michael Penix, like he last year, first of all, last year Bijan was a lot of the Falcons offense. I watched a couple Falcons games too, and like, dude, he is explosive. Like people don't talk about him as much as they should, man. I get it, Derrick
They have
Henry.
like 5 to 7 primetime games this year, so I think Bijan's going to be a name that people learn pretty quick.
Yeah, man, and it's insane because like he's not bought up with names like, of course, not Saquon or Derrick Henry, but like not even Jameer Gibbs or CMC. And I'm
He's just
like,
not on a high profile team
dang,
yet.
Bijan low key is better than. I mean, maybe Jameer.
I think Bijan is the third best running back in football.
Yeah,
The only guys that I have above him are Saquon and Jameer.
yeah. I mean, he's one of the best catching running backs, one of the most explosive running backs. He can run up the middle between the tackles. He can run out. He can he can go east to west as well. I mean, low key, man, he's gonna see a lot of volume. He's gonna get like 22 to 25 carries a game with 3 to 5 receptions. You can book that. It's like a fantasy. You're gonna
Yeah.
be a fantasy god. But
Well, I think another thing with Bijan too that's so attractive for this award and for fantasy, like you mentioned, is the fact that the Falcons defense isn't strong enough, in my estimation, to
not at
put
all.
games away before the fourth quarter. And with Bijan as a receiving threat and how much of the offense he carries on his shoulder, he might have to go for 2,000 all purpose yards for this to be a playoff team.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't. I think we can kind of book him going for at least 1,800 if he plays the whole season. Like, I think they are going to use him a lot, especially with Penix. He didn't look great in the 2 3 games he started last season. They're gonna
He
want,
looked all right, but I think this is a run first team.
yeah, they're gonna want to ease him in, man. And I think they're gonna lean on Bijan, especially earlier in the season. So that's why I got him picked.
Yeah, for sure. So we move on now to the MVP award, an award that my pick has been made known on this channel for some time now. I'm going to go over the odds. Lamar Jackson is the favorite at plus 430. Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are tied at second with 6 to 1. Patty Mahomes plus 650. Jaden Daniels plus 1,000. Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love all 20 to 1. CJ Stroud and Baker Mayfield 25 to 1. My pick to win this award is Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Baker had one of the quieter, great seasons last year. 71% completion percentage, 4,500 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, a 106.8 passer rating. The interceptions were high at 16, so Baker's going to need to cut down on those a little bit. But I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a great team. And when you talk about MVP awards in really any sport but football, it always goes to a quarterback pretty much. You have to have 4,000 plus passing yards. You have to have 35 plus touchdowns. Baker, I think, will easily check both of those boxes. You have to win your division and likely be a top 3 seed. I think Tampa Bay could do that. I think Tampa Bay could be the 1 seed in the NFC, truthfully. And when I look around the league, Lamar, obviously, at plus 430, you could easily go there. Josh getting it back to back. I just don't know if the Bills win at a high level for that. Joe Burrow, I don't think the Bengals win at a high enough level. Mahomes with the Rashi Rice suspension. Travis Kelce, I think the offense fiddles out a little bit. And then you start getting to some of the other guys that we talked about. Jaden Daniels, we both think the Commanders regress. Justin Herbert, even if the Chargers are good, like I predict them to be, I don't think it'll be high volume passing. Are they ever going to give an award like this to Jalen Hurts? I don't know. Jordan Love, we both predict the Packers to be worse, and CJ Stroud, I think that's a defensive led team. So as I went through my process of elimination, Baker's the driving force for Tampa. The defense is good, not great. So they're going to have to be competing and throwing in games. He's going to have primetime games. He's going to have the stats. The weapons core, Bucky Irving, Rashad White, Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin will be back. Jalen McMillan will be back. You have Cade Otton. I think it's lining up for Baker this year. And the story, the guy who was the number 1 pick for the Browns, that terrible organization almost ruined his career. He goes to the Panthers for a year. That terrible organization almost ruined his career. Then he's starting a Thursday night football game for the Rams with 2 days of prep, leads a 93-yard game-winning drive, and that essentially lands him in Tampa. And he's gotten better and better each year in Tampa Bay. And he's gone from OC to OC to now his 3rd offensive coordinator. If he could do that shit again with a 3rd OC, you got to put some respect on Baker's name.
Yeah, man. I feel like if he does win MVP, and he has a season that compares to the season you think he could have, man, you got to consider him in the top.
I mean, 5, he was a 6. Pro Bowler last year.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason why he did go under the radar is because of the 16 interceptions, but he had to sling it around, man, because they didn't realize what they had in Bucky Irving until later in the season. Now they know, okay, they're giving Bucky Irving the keys to the running back room. They're saying we're going to rock out. And I think that's going to help Baker even because now he has a reliable run game. And now he doesn't have to take as many risks as he did last season. I feel like he can definitely trend down from 16. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that hard to not those 16 interceptions.
So, no, I think we could be looking at, even if his stats go down a little bit, 4,400 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, but then instead of 16, you got 6 interceptions while still keeping that 70% completion percentage. Hey, that's MVP numbers.
100%.
Go win 11, 12 games.
The only thing is, earlier in the season, man, Egbuka he's now been thrusted into the wide receiver 2 role. Like, they just gave him that now.
Well, I mean, I know we both think he's so nasty. So
yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to see. And now he's gonna be opposite side of Mike Evans. So now we're gonna have to see what he's really made of. So we're gonna see. I know for sure my MVP pick. You haven't even mentioned him, even on your odds. So my MVP for this year, I'm gonna go with Caleb Williams, man. So I did
plus 3,700.
So I did a lot of looking at it. I looked at how all the teams improved this offseason. And I don't know why nobody's talking about it. Honestly, I'm going to just say it because no one else is saying it. I think Caleb Williams is going to win the MVP. And you look at Rome Odunze and Luther Burden, and you're like, man, these 2 weapons, like, we have a bright future here. But then everyone's forgetting about DJ Moore, who's literally quarterback proof. Like, it kind of seems like, especially what he was doing out in Carolina. Even when he was unhappy last year, he was still being productive and putting up numbers. And Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, I do believe Ben Johnson is going to unlock him. And I feel like he's going to unlock the run game as well. Caleb Williams will be able to feed off of that, And honestly, it's just too many weapons. If he can take care of the ball, there's so many players who could just catch the ball and go. Like, they're going to score a lot of points regardless. And that defense is decent, but they're going to have to really rely on Caleb Williams to lead this team. And I don't know why no one's talking about it, but Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, like, honestly, it's going to be a match made in heaven year 1 off the rip.
So I love this pick as a long shot pick. you have to have raised your opinion on the Chicago Bears
Yeah,
from when we recorded a couple weeks ago
100%.
and did our predictions, because you had them at 9-8,
Yeah.
and no MVP at 9-8. That's for sure.
Hey,
So
I
that's
de-
not happening.
hey, I definitely changed. I changed my opinion on quite a few teams. I mean, the NFL is constantly changing, so I
Yeah.
mean,
So
especially
I
with the
mean, we'll
Micah
we'll get our
Parsons.
final predictions out there
Yeah,
for the playoff video the day before the season kicks off. But I mean, expect some movement. Obviously, if Micah gets moved, we'll see some changes there. I do believe it is very possible, more possible than people are giving it credit for. Your prediction, like you mentioned, the weapons are insane. I don't even think you mentioned the tight ends, Colson Levelin and Cole Kmet. Like
yeah.
they are, and Alamanai Zacchaeus, like they are 5, 6, 7, 8 deep at weapons. They now, per PFF, have a top 10 offensive line in football, and I think it might be inside the top 5. They brought in 3 new guys to fix the interior of that offensive line, going from Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron to Ben Johnson calling plays. And again, I'm not trying to fall into preseason hype here, but the little glimpse that we had, goddamn, that Caleb
Yeah.
Williams was slinging that thing,
Hey,
looking
man,
like an
it
absolute
looked
beast.
easy.
And all the intangibles that we thought about Caleb before he was the number 1 pick, I feel like a lot of people threw that away because of a bad first season. But his NFL comp was Patrick freaking Mahomes for a reason, man. Like, the guy's got the arm talent, he's got the speed, he's got good size. If they could put this offense together, and listen, I had the Bears going 11-6, and I don't have them winning the division, but you flip one of those games and all of a sudden they're 12-5 and they win the division, and Caleb's got the 4,000 passing yards, the 35 plus touchdowns, and you look around the rest of the league, man, he's got to be in the conversation.
Yeah, and listen, I'm aware of take integrity. Honestly, I did a fair amount of research before we made the video a week or two ago, but I think I was wrong about the Bears, man. And obviously, because I'm picking Caleb now, they're gonna they're gonna win more than 8 or 9 games. I was wrong about them. When it
I
comes,
think my thing on take integrity is you have until the season.
hey, and I
Until the season to assess all the information you have. That Wednesday before the season, when our video goes out on our playoff predictions and our updated top 7 teams in each conference, that is what I believe everybody should hold us to.
I mean, hey, and maybe that preseason game played a little role, and I had to reassess it a little bit. But
But
man,
training camp footage, seeing guys on the offense get better, seeing other teams be worse, like, pulling the curtain behind, we filmed those AFC and NFC preview videos at the beginning of August.
yeah,
So you've had a whole month now of additional information.
I mean, and the thing is, this is my biggest thing, right? This team is by far, has a more talented offense than the Lions did. I think it's literally insane. Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland. Colston Loveland was a top pick at the tight end position. You
Yeah.
bring in Joe Tooney. You have a top 5 offensive line of football with the other new additions you brought in. Luther Burden, DJ Moore. You got Roma Dunze, who's supposed to take a big leap this year. That is a top 5, top 7 wide receiver
If
core in the NFL for sure, without even seeing them play together.
I think this speaks to a little bit of our mindsets, because the way you feel about the Bears and the Patriots is the way that I think that those teams will progress to in 2026. I think it's going to take a year, but the NFL moves so damn fast that,
Yeah,
look at what we just saw last year with the Broncos and the Commanders.
yeah.
They went from top 10 picks to playoff teams, and the Commanders, they went from the number 2 pick to an NFC championship on a 12-win season.
That was
So
crazy.
while, again, you're mentioning Caleb Williams for MVP, and people are like, that's nuts. If at the beginning of last year we had said, well, Jaden Daniels is going to lead the Commanders to 12 wins in an NFC championship game, people would have said, that's nuts. Nutty shit happens all the time in the NFL.
I mean, you say that out loud, and it still doesn't sound real, but it definitely happened. Jaden Daniels, that did happen. I'm just thinking, like, okay, DJ Moore, compared to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He can play that role. You know, you got Luther Burden, maybe in the role of Jamison Williams. Rome Odunze is going to be the X factor on that team. Of course, the run game isn't as good as the Lions are going to be. There's no Jahmyr Gibbs over there, but with Ben Johnson and an improved offensive line, DeAndre
But
Swift
there
has.
being no Jahmyr Gibbs, who's
Yeah,
going to throw the ball more?
yeah. I mean, exactly. But I still think you're going to have better play action. You're going to have an improved run game with Ben Johnson and a much more improved offensive line as well. I just see so many weapons everywhere, so many mixed matches or mismatches. It's going to be insane, man. So my
Yeah.
my take on the Bears has completely 180 since the last time I talked about them.
Yeah, I love the Bears to make the playoffs this year. I think even if Caleb doesn't take the leap that we just talked about, where he's in MVP conversations, if Caleb could just get to being a 3,500 yard passer, flirt with 30 touchdowns, limit the interceptions, and Ben Johnson does this thing with that offense. The defense has players and Sweat and Jalen Johnson. To me, I love them as a playoff team this year.
And hey, man, who knows? Like, if they play as good as I expect them, Ben Johnson has to be in consideration for Coach of the Year. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And one more,
but in your mind, the credit's going to Caleb.
I mean, yeah. And one more thing, I want to say the Bears have like one of the 8 hardest schedules. I want to say they have like the 8th or 7th.
They play that NFC North 6
Yeah,
times.
they have one of the hardest schedules.
There isn't an easy team in that division. So I mean, if Caleb can march through that division, win that division, and be a top 3 seed,
yeah,
you might have to put your hands up, and a lot of people might have to be like, I was wrong about Caleb Williams.
and Ben Johnson overnight is one of the best head coaches in the NFL just for being able to make the Bears a functional franchise alone.
Yeah. So we had some not so hot takes, and we had some very hot takes, including being topped off with Baker Mayfield and Caleb Williams to win MVPs. I'm sure it'll just be Lamar Jackson after we spend all that time talking about these things. But as always, let us know your predictions in the comment section down below. We are 8 days away from the NFL season. If you're happy about that, hit the like button. Next week, our official playoff predictions. Me and JaVon are each going to have our brackets drawn up. We're going to go game by game, wild card round, divisional round, conference championship, and of course the Super Bowl. So we appreciate your guys' support. We'll catch you guys next week for that video. Peace.
Yes, sir.